think this is a good place to jump into Scott Rothstein. We've all seen all the photos. We know he threw all those fundraisers for you. But when and how did you meet Scott Rothstein?
I don't recall, to be perfectly honest, when I first met him. It's been probably 4 or 5 years ago, something like that.
Some time ago.
Yeah.
And how did he become such a big supporter of yours? How did he link up with your future?
A lot of people have,
wow.
Gratefully,
right.
From my perspective. And it's a great question because any candidate finds the need to raise funds in order to communicate. You all understand communication better than anybody, and it's important to be able to communicate. And so raising funds is it's a necessary part of being able to communicate effectively. Now, I'm sure there are all kind of motivations for people who want to help a candidate. Hopefully, they include the following. They believe in what you believe in. They support the policies that you espouse. They believe that once you get in office, you'll do your darndest to get those things done that you talk about during the course of the campaign. And those are the conversations I've had with people in terms of helping me.
Well, what about Scott?
Same.
What kind of help did he want?
He wanted good government. That's what he told me.
I mean, how close were you to him? You consider him a friend?
I did. Yeah.
And you kind of seemed hesitant to take him off of the JQC, and you wanted to wait till church. I mean, you know, could you talk a little bit more, elaborate on whether you should have, you know, do you regret now having accepted money from him without vetting it better? Or, you know, I mean, it was people that knew him knew he wasn't wealthy, you know, 5 years ago, and there was a lot of talk about and speculation about where the money came from.
Should we distance ourselves from people because there's a lot of talk? Is that a fair standard?
Well, it might be worth looking into their backgrounds.
From a government? You want the government looking into your background?
Then
you got to think about what you're saying.
A political and public official, I think, would want to know, you know, who his supporters are, what their backgrounds are, especially when they're contributing so heavily.
Well, not unfair. I give people the benefit of the doubt. I've generally been that way in my life, and I hope that most of us are. And unless I have a reason to believe that somebody is doing something wrong, then I don't have a reason to believe they're doing something wrong. I mean, as I've said before, I don't have a crystal ball. Mm-hmm. Neither do you.
Right.
You know, seriously. And, you know, if somebody's running a law firm or running an IT business or running a newspaper and they seem relatively successful and they have a lot of friends who want to try to help you in an endeavor, who am I to judge if there's no reason to judge that they're in an untoward way?
Well, you were particularly close with him. You went to his wedding at the Versace Mansion. He threw a birthday party for you at Breakers. You signed that one photograph. Scott, you're amazing. What did you admire about him so much?
He employed a lot of people, provided them an economic opportunity. It's probably what I admired the most. Now, as we all know, hindsight being 20/20, it wasn't done the right way.
Well, he also provided a lot of money to the Republican Party, to Republican campaigns, to your Attorney General's campaign, your gubernatorial campaign. And some of the people are raising some questions now about some of his donations as it relates to his nomination to the JNC by you and at least three judicial appointments in Broward. There was about $140,000 that he gave to the Republican Party 4 days after you put him on the JNC, and another $175,000 that went to the party at the same time you were appointing those three judicial candidates to the Broward bench. Did he influence you at all with those donations in his appointment to the JNC or for those judicial appointments?
No.
Why is the timing such?
I don't know.
You didn't take note of that?
I didn't take note of it.
Did you ever go on any trips with him? I mean, we're finding out now that he took our police chief and other people on, to football games and that sort of thing. Did you do any socializing or traveling with him?
We never traveled together, no.
You didn't go to any games in his suite or anything like that?
I may have walked by one time, but no.
Did you meet his investors?
Did I meet his investors?
Yeah.
Who were they?
Various fundraisers. One of them was George Levin.
I know George Levin. Yeah.
How do you know George?
I've met him through political events here.
Right. He bought